been asleep for a long time. I think it's been maybe 4 months since I've done a video, although it kind of feels like yesterday sitting here in the red chair, the vinyl behind. Doesn't feel that long ago, but it certainly has, so cheers everyone. Yeah, how have you all been? Let me know how you're going. So this video today, although I'm supporting a Megadeth Rust in Peace shirt, it's actually got nothing to do with metal. So today it's just a review of a gig I saw recently. It was Midnight Oil, the Living End and Jebediah, so 3 Australian bands. So Midnight Oil, they've been to the USA recently, a couple other countries I believe, and done sold out tours everywhere. And they've been in Australia now for a few months, and I saw them probably, must be three weeks ago, maybe 4. It was October the 15th they played in Queensland. So while I'm talking, I'll put some photos up on the screen to help illustrate. So it was at a place called the Big Pineapple, and I've been looking forward to it for a long time. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Midnight Oil, here's some of these albums I've been playing in the lead up to the concert, just non-stop. And watching videos of them talking about the albums and the history of Midnight Oil. So I was well and truly pumped, well educated, and it's been such a long time since I saw a gig. Here where I live in Queensland, it's been very dry, barely a drop of rain in months and months and leading up to this concert. So it's about a 2.5 hour drive from where I live, along the beautiful coastline, the Sunshine Coast, just beautiful. One of my favourite places to go to. And the Big Pineapple, you go further north and west into the hinterland. Very famous sort of touristy areas in Queensland here. So anyway, so the story is, the afternoon, it was just pouring rain. This is the day of the concert, and it rained a bit the day before. And I was watching the radar, and you could see the storms coming towards us. And I was on the phone, looking at chat groups and things to see what people are doing. So a lot of people are actually selling their tickets. A lot of people saying, "Look, I'm not going," because actually it's not in an enclosed arena. It's actually at a probably on a hill. So people worried about dangerous conditions, all that type of stuff. People working there didn't know whether they had to come in for work to serve drinks and that type of stuff for us concert goers. So I was still going. I didn't care if it was going to hay or if I was standing in water that deep. It didn't matter. It didn't matter to me. So as time got closer, the rain just almost started to stop. Started to stop. So we got in the car and we drove. I had a couple of drinks before we left just to get fired up, as you do. Pulled in the car park, had a drink in the car and some cheese and crackers with my wife Vicky. So feeling pretty good. And the car park attendant gave us some, snake lolly type things. So, and we could see off into the distance where the people were gathering at the gate. So I said, "Honey, look over here. It's not actually at the Big Pineapple. It's actually nearby." So we were parked on some farming land, and we could see we had to walk down a hill, up a hill, and then who knows where. So we thought, let's get out now, because we wanted to be close down the front, and we wanted to see all the bands. We're interested in all bands, not just Midnight Oil. So we made the big walk, and actually before my wife went to the shop and bought some gumboots in preparation. Anyway, it wasn't raining, so got there through the gates, and we could see it, and it looked magnificent. Obviously people selling shirts and stuff. I didn't buy a shirt. I wanted to buy a Living End shirt, but they weren't selling any. Of course, you could buy drinks and all that type of stuff. So we sort of walked down towards the stage, and because I like looking at the equipment, the amps, and looking at the guys checking the guitars and things like that. But I've been at a gig for a while, but one thing I found interesting was that, how normally before a band gets up, got a couple of guys on the tuning the guitars or checking them on the stage, and people hitting the snare drum, bang, 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 and 1, 2, 1, 2, and all that kind of stuff. I was looking forward to that, but there was absolutely none of that. Don't they do that anymore, these big gigs? If you found that too, there's no more 1 2 1 2. I looked up, there was some blue sky. I was actually sitting down in my jumper with my wife and just enjoying the atmosphere, feeling really good. So the first band came on and they were great, fantastic. Here's some footage here. You can see they're called Jebediah. Check it out. Jebediah, when they came on, the sound was just perfect. So I looked around at the sound guys. They were about 50 metres back behind me and doing their job, and great lighting and etc. So they obviously nailed the sound check and had everything bang on. So the next band is the Living End. Absolutely love the Living End. I don't have any vinyl here. The Living End. They're a 3-piece band, and they were absolutely awesome. We're waiting for Midnight Oil, obviously. I was supposed to come on at 8:30, but they ended up coming on at 8:15. Anyway, the rain started falling. I thought it had gone, it just pelted down. And for the next, they're on stage for 2 hours, pretty much, bang on 2 hours, and it poured the whole time. A lot of people were putting on what they call ponchos, plastic raincoat things. I just had my jeans on and a Rolling Stone shirt. A couple of people offered because I was soaked, but I expected that to happen and I loved it. A lot of people say, "Oh, you should get a coat. I'll get you one." No, I'm good. So it wasn't many of us there who didn't have raincoats and things, but that's all for me, all part of the experience, as I always say. So Midnight Oil performed fantastically. Peter Garrett is unbelievable. They all looked pretty fit and healthy. The sound was immaculate, and the first song was Redneck Wonderland. Check that out. And when it came on, the sound, I was like, whoa, absolutely loved the sound. I hadn't seen Midnight Oil before. And Redneck Wonderland is a song I'm sort of familiar with, but never really blare it out. I absolutely loved it. So it had me hooked right from the first song, as things do. Peter Garrett is Midnight Oil, fairly political, as you probably know. They're anti-mining and anything that could potentially negatively, adversely affect the environment. They're very passionate about. And the crowd was eventually they pushed forward, and you get a few people weaving their way in. They've had 100 drinks and they don't give a shit if they knock you in the back of the head or whatever. Stand on your feet. It doesn't bother me. I said to my wife before we go, expect to get really muddy, stinky, people knock you, beer spilled over you. That's rock and roll. Well, I read later on that someone there's a wild pig running through the middle of the crowd. I never saw it. It was just before they came on. I had to go to the toilet. And there's all these portaloos at the back. So, and by then, because the rain had been falling, it had been for a couple of days before. There's just mud this thick and just squelching in your feet in the rain and the mud. And the portaloos were absolutely horrendous. And because it's dark and I can't see at the best of times, sometimes I'm walking to every portaloo and just open the door, locked. Eventually found one and it's just all mess, and it's just wet and mud and terrible, just terrible. But I had a ball, an absolute ball. Great fun, great band. If you can ever get to see them, I think how well they played, providing they're up for it. Even in a couple of years, 3 years, if they tour again, go see them. They're unbelievable. Here's some video footage that my wife filmed, just to show you. So cheers out everyone, it's Saturday afternoon here. I'm going to be playing lots of vinyl. I've been picking up a lot of stuff, so I have a heap of videos to catch up with. If you still subscribe to me, I appreciate it because I haven't been around. Keep checking out the new videos coming out, and I look forward to your comments. Cheers. Yes, that is beer.